Hello, Rachel and Mark. Here is your sewer scope from today's inspection. This is me in that utility room and pointing out the access point. So just a black ABS pipe, just a quick 7 feet or so. Um, there's a lot of transitions in this pipe from different material to different material. Um, um, the other takeaway is that it's a relatively dirty pipe. At least in this initial stage, there's some buildup in this cast iron section right here that we've just transitioned into, and has mucked up my camera lens. Eventually, probably in another minute or so, I'll get it clear. Um, I'm trying to just wash it off by going back and forth, but it's dirty enough in this section that in hindsight it was not the best place to do it. I should have gotten further along. I'll end up turning up some more water. So here we go, right at about 20 feet. We transition from cast iron to clay. I apologize for the quality of the picture. Those are cobwebs above, and those are roots below. Um, Again, as I said, I'll get this cleared off here in a minute or so. I was almost at the point where I was going to pull back out again and just try to scrub down, but I was thinking that once I put it back into that initial section, the same thing was going to happen. So this is me turning on some more water, and like I said, eventually I'll get a better picture. Not the best, but good enough to be able to get a flavor of what's going on in the pipe. A little better there. Again, root growth coming in these clay sections. Um, like we talked about today, the question is always, well, how old is that root growth? How long has it been doing that? And then when you do cut out the roots, how quickly are they going to grow back? And not knowing the pipe, not knowing its history, it's something that you'll have to, over time, figure out. But these are very typical, likely 4 foot sections of clay pipe. The initial stage, holding a little bit of water here, obviously. The initial stages, probably right by trees in the front yard. Now we've switched over to plastic pipe. It's either going to be ABS or it's white, so it's probably PVC. At that connection there's probably a rubber gasket connection between the two different types of material. You'll start to see glued sections up ahead. This is another gasketed connection right there. This is an inlet. They probably cut a clean out. There's probably a clean out somewhere in the yard. And again, still in PVC. Like we talked about today, this is likely a replacement for a damaged section. Obviously, if the home is 110 years old, they did not have this type of pipe when the house was first constructed. We're back into clay at this point. Not uncommon to have that little bit of water holding as you're going from one new section to an older section. They just didn't probably lay the pipe completely proper, or it's settled over time. Got holding a little bit of water here as well. We'll get past this. This is going to be a transition coming up from clay back to cast iron. So lots of changeover. Um, Lots of different materials are going from one material to another, which honestly is not the norm. Generally, we'll stay with probably two. A lot of times it's cast iron coming out of the house, and then switching over uh, to clay. Here we are back to cast iron. We're dropping at this point. My guess is that this is going to be one of the final drops into uh, the city connection. That's a big mass of paper that's just sitting there. I was not able to get past this spot, so 135 feet out, um, it's really difficult to muscle that much cable past any obstructions. So again, my guess is that generally there's a two-stage drop into the city connection. My guess is that we're close. You don't know for sure. What I would recommend and will recommend in the written report is have the pipe cleaned out. Have it cabled, cutter heads come in, and then have that technician, once they get everything clear, the roots out. One, we want to see that water is flowing freely. It's not dirty like this. It's basically cleaned out from start to finish, and get you that last few feet out to the city connection. And again, I can't believe that it's going to be much more than uh, another 5 feet, 10 feet before you get to that connection. Speculation on my part, but at 135 feet, you're a lot further along, or a lot longer than your standard pipe in our area. Please read through the recommendations in the written report. Obviously, reach out to me with any questions. I'll keep the camera rolling as I pull back. Feel free to watch. One more thing that I forgot to mention, and there'll be a still picture in your report. There may be, right where it transitions to that new section of PVC, there may also be a crack at that point. Take a look at that. That's another reason why you want to have the line cleaned and reevaluated, just so you can get eyes on that part where again, there may be a crack. It may be part of the original damage and the reason why they replaced this section. I'm just pausing here for a second. I wipe off my cable as I'm pulling back, so I'm just changing out disinfectant wipes and paper towels here. So give me a second, I'll get moving again. There's that. I paused it a couple times, took a snapshot of that. So again, something to dig into. Read over the reports and reach out to me with any questions.